I prefer not to get married to an American woman is because most American women are wired for divorce. Many of them come into your life just to divorce you. They are okay with going through a divorce. They are not willing to take any hit. Any little thing. I'm about to go to the car. I'm about to go to court and get a divorce with you right now, man. I ain't playing with you, boy. I don't want you no more. I'm gonna check out this relationship.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amaomi aka Petty Diva, and in this video we are discussing abusive marriage and African men. So there is this perception that quite a lot of African men might think that abusive marriages are the way marriages are supposed to be, and women are supposed to bear anything that they do in their marriages. Let's check out what these people have to say, and then I'll come back to share my thoughts.
When you put an African marriage side by side a Western marriage, it is obvious the African marriage looks more like slavery or what I call conjugal abuse. And it's unfortunate this has not been looked into at any point in time. But most times it is mistaken for what Bible calls marriage in the Bible. The lordship in the Bible simply means ownership because it is part of you. And Bible clearly states how you need to love your wife just as you love yourself. So African marriage is far from the Bible, very far. The first reason for that is this. Scriptural marriage does not have any room for slavery that is visible in African marriage. And that is why it is almost impossible to point any marriage in Africa that you can say it is a good marriage or successful marriage. The ones we all mistaken for good ones in the past, we came to see that the women were just under suppression. They never had a voice. They could not express their feelings. They died with their ideas, and it was all men's affairs. And that is why it is just natural for even a little boy to grow up to become a tyrant in marriage. The first reason I want us to understand in African marriage is that the men are never prepared for marriage. All preparation made around marriage is to prepare the woman for abuse or slavery.
Wow.
And that's why they keep preaching different tolerance, different patience that Bible spells out to African women. So by default, an African boy is grown with the mindset that is going to put a woman in the house when he gets married. Think about that. Not that he is joined to his wife, as the Bible says. And that's why many religious leaders have bad marriage. Very reputable religious leaders. So the boy grows up becoming a tyrant in the marriage. Any little thing he abuses, he curses, he threatens with divorce or sending the lady back to her parents' home. So African marriage is nothing but emotional abuse, psychological abuse, so close to slavery, consented slavery. On the other hand, you can see the women enduring because they were prepared. Unintentionally though, you see, when parents keep telling daughters, is that the kind of food you are going to prepare for your husband? Is that the way you're going to tidy your house? Is that the way you're going to do when you get married? Those things were preparing the girl child for marriage. But nothing was done to prepare the boy child. So we need to change that mindset. It's a wrong mindset. Women are not sold into slavery. Men are meant to detach from their parents and join their wife, and they both become one flesh.
I prefer not to get married to an American woman is because most American women are wired for divorce. Many of them come into your life just to divorce you. They are okay with going through a divorce. They are not willing to take any hit. Any little thing. I'm about to go to the car. I'm about to go to court and get a divorce with you right now, man. I ain't playing with you, boy. I don't want you no more. I'm gonna check out this relationship. I do not want to go through that. Most American women live on fast food. Checkers, KFC, Popeye chicken, and McDonald's. I do not want to go through having to buy food every day outside. And this is one of the reasons why I would prefer to get married to an African woman, because African women, they have been trained to make food in the house. They have been trained to stay in relationships no matter what happens.
Really?
It's very difficult for an African woman to get a divorce.
And the key word that he used was most African women have been trained to stay in marriages no matter what. And that is so sad, but it's so true. They've been trained to keep up the facade. They've been trained to keep the good family name. They've been trained to get killed in marriages. They've been trained to take any type of abuse as long as they stay married. And I hope that they get to realize marriage is not a do or die. And for him saying that American women can't cook, that's a lie, because I know a few.
One thing that Africans would do, especially Nigerians, is defend an abusive person, especially if that abusive person is a man. What really intrigues me and annoys me as someone who has witnessed one of their parents be abused by the other, physically and emotionally. The most stupid thing Nigerians open their mouth to tell the children of the parent that was abused is that that parent who was abused turned their minds against the abusive parent. It is almost insinuating that the children in that situation do not have the mental capacity to be able to comprehend a situation and understand who is wrong in that situation. It is almost like you are trying to say that the children in that situation do not understand what violence is. Because how come every time a woman is abused and then the children see that that woman is being abused and they rally around and take the woman's side and try to protect her and get her out of that situation, or even try to talk to the father? And the situation now becomes a public issue or even just a family, extended family issue. You hear things like, oh, she's trying to poison the minds of these boys or the children against the father. Even go further to say things like, oh, as their mother, you should have protected them from that information. They shouldn't see their father in that light. I'm sorry, but whose father is being abusive? Is it not their father? How do you expect someone that is being abused to still cover up for the abuse that they are facing when the abuse is literally happening right in front of the children's eyes? I don't know what kind of superhero powers you all expect women in abusive relationships to have. You blame them for entirely everything. You hear that they were beaten or physically abused and you say, what did you do? You hear that they were emotionally abused, you say, what did they do? You hear that they reached out to the extended family to help with this abusive tendencies and characters, and you hear stuff like, oh, she's not woman enough to take care of a home. Why would she go outside her home to go and tell people what is happening in the home? Children in that situation start to realize who is the abuser and who is the victim, and then they take the side of the victim, and then you come out to say, oh, it is the victim that poisoned the minds of these children against the person that is being abused. Do you guys give up? When do you actually give up? If you put in this effort to protect bad behavior, abusive behavior, into actually making our economy better, maybe choosing a better government, we would have a thriving economy. If this zeal was put into our personal lives, maybe we would have started achieving more. But you come out to defend trash because in a way, you see yourself in that trash. Instead of calling it out and maybe checking yourself and asking yourself why you see yourself in that abuser, you defend it and they make it seem like defending yourself against is wrong. But I want you to know that it's only God that will punish you. The victim blaming and all the, oh, you shouldn't be telling children when their parents are abusive, God will punish you. May your blessings be hid the same way you want to hide the harm that is being done to someone else because you see yourself there. Amen.
Honestly, I don't want to lump all African men or Nigerian men into the same group or into the same category and say that all of them are abusive and the rest. So I'm not going to say that. I'm going to say that some men, because there are definitely some men that were trained properly. There are definitely some men that saw what their mother went through and they decided to be different, and they are different. But some of the things that the people that I featured said was just so true. I was watching the video and I was just like remembering some of the things that were said to my mom, that was said to me when it was exposed that my male parent was very abusive. One of the creators was saying something like they will be attacking the mother and saying that why didn't the mother not hide the abuse when the person that is abusing their mother is doing it in front of them? He doesn't care. Like I said, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know that my earliest childhood memory was me trying to fight my male parent to protect my mom from being beaten. So you cannot And I saw more after that. So how are you going to tell me that my mom tried to paint him in a bad way when I saw it myself? And as I grew up as a female, I knew that that is not okay. No matter what, yes, my mom can be spirited just like me, but most of the time, our action was a reaction to something that he has done. You are the person that was sleeping around, cheating around. You even was making out with someone that's not my mom in front of my sibling. So how will someone come and now say, oh, my mom has gone to corrupt our minds and turn us against him? Which he actually said. He actually said when after my mom died and I confronted him when he had the audacity to come to her burial, to come to the service of song and her burial. I was like, what are you doing here? After you've made her life miserable, and it became a whole it became a whole drama, like, you know how reality TV show drama? Yes, that was what happened. I was carried out from the service of song, and at the burial, I was held by my late uncle because honestly, at that time, I was livid, and he was doing things that was irritating me. Because so I was in the mood to fight, even though I'm tiny. I was going to use all my strength to attack him, but I was held strongly. But it now came later when they were now doing like family meeting. He was now trying to insinuate that my mom was lying and she was over dramatic and everything, and some of the things that we think we know, we don't know. And I'm like, are you listening to yourself? Because they didn't allow us to be there. I was listening and I was like, what kind of statements is all this thing? Are we stupid? And that's what the guy was saying, that they would be saying that, oh, the mom is the one turning the children against their father or something. Meanwhile, the children were there. I was there for some things. I was there for some action. And I knew some of the things we were doing. My siblings too was there for some action and knew what was going on. So you cannot come and say that we did not know what was going on, that my mom was the one that turned our minds against him. I was like, this is one of the reasons that I've gotten on contact with him, because I really don't want him to change things and start trying to manipulate my mind or manipulate me, because you might do one action because of something happened, and then it turns it around and begins to make it look like there's something else. So for my peace of mind, it's better to be no contact. Someone also said that some some African men actually don't see them being abusive as anything, and the society is always looking at women who say no, that they are no more going to be in an abusive relationship or abusive marriage, as weak. They don't have to be strong in their marriage, that they are supposed to be able to endure. That's the word. They are supposed to be able to endure all the nonsense that the man is doing, because you need to keep your home. Your home is where you're supposed to be. Even if he's putting hands on her left, right, center, she's still supposed to stay there. And it's just irritating how the next generation of men are still thinking like that, because their mothers did not do anything to change that perception. Now, someone mentioned that sometimes the parents will be attacking their daughters and saying, is that how you're going to behave in your husband's house? Is that how you are going to cook in your husband's house? Is that how you are going to be talking in your husband's house? Is that what you are going to do? Some homes, almost everything, is that how you are going to speak? Is that how you are going to wash plates? Is that how you are going to sweep the house? Is that how you are going to take care of the house? This. The boy, there is no, I don't think I've heard, is that how you're going to take care of your wife? Is that, most of the time, it's always the lady. They don't say, is that how you're going to earn money to take care of your family? Nothing. Is that how you're going to talk to your wife? Is that how you're going to train your child? No, they don't say that to boys. It's always daughters. Is that how you're going to do in your husband's house? Is that how you're going to sleep? Is that how you're not going to do this? It's just always the daughter that they're always attacking. So in the daughter's mindset, in the female child mindset, it's always like, let me behave in a good way so that when I go to my husband's house, I will not be sent out. I will not be sent to my parents' house. I will not be a disgrace. I will not be a single mother. I will not be a divorced mother. But the perception of the shame that comes with single mothers and being divorced is slowly decreasing, I think, in Nigeria, because women are tired of seeing other women end up unalived just because they want to be in their marriages. But some people are still going to stick to an abusive marriage, because if you've watched some of my other videos, I've talked about the fact that one of the reasons why some women will stick to an abusive partner is because they have no means to survive on their own. Probably the man is providing for them and also their children and their parents. So there's nothing they can do. They don't have the means to be self-sufficient. So because of they are incapable of taking care of themselves financially, they will stick to the abusive marriage. So at the end of the day, the whole cycle of abusive marriages is not really going to stop until women have capacity to survive on their own. Because most of the women who say enough is enough usually sometimes have the ability to take care of themselves and their children. Some people are being strong that they will leave their children with the man and say, I'm trying to save my life, and move on. Then later on, their children will understand why they had to do it, and then they would have a relationship with the parents, because most time when they leave the children with the man, he's going to stop all communication because he's vindictive like that. But there are more stories of women leaving abusive marriages, unlike before that they will stay till they are old, till they end up being unalived. Any which way, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to group all African men with this bad behavior, but it's quite a lot, honestly. And one of them mentioned the fact that some Christian or some religious leaders, that their marriages are not that great. I don't know about that, but I would think so too. But sometimes you might not know, because what they show in the public is different from what is happening in the private. It's only if their children eventually speak out to them, we know that, oh, this is what was going on in their marriage, and we thought everything was okay. Anyway, that's my thoughts about this whole topic. I would love to hear what you think about it. Do you think that this perception of some African men concerning marriages and how women are supposed to endure abusive marriages is only restricted to African men? Or have you seen such mindsets, such thoughts, such attitude in other men from other continents or countries? I would love to hear your own thoughts about this topic. So please leave your comments in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe. And don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.